What's up, everybody? You know what day it is. It's time for your next dose of Warrior Wednesday with your host, that Wounded Warrior guy. That's me. And today, this video is dedicated to making sure that people out there are not allowing their disabilities to discourage them from going out, trying something new, stepping out of their comfort zone, and attempting to do something that perhaps they believe impossible given their current circumstances or limitations. But before we get into the video, I just want to remind everyone, if you wouldn't mind doing so, throwing me a thumbs up, liking this video, subscribing to the channel if you haven't already done so, and sharing the video. Do one of those things for me, guys. I would really appreciate it. Well, without further ado, let's get into the content. So, as I stated in the beginning, today this video is going to be dedicated to making sure that we are not allowing our disabilities or circumstances to prevent or discourage us from attempting to do something new because we do not believe that it is physically possible. Now, the reason why I'm doing this video is because currently I have been attempting to go out and do things that previously I would not have attempted because I simply believed that due to my disabilities, due to my physical limitations, due to my previous injuries, those things were not possible, that it wasn't feasible for me to go out and attempt those things, right? And I feel like this is something that a lot of people, whether they're previous military, whether they got injured at work and, they have physical limitations or they're disabled and they're retired, those individuals might be kind of developing that outer cushion, preventing themselves, or potentially they see it as protecting themselves from going out and trying new things because either they don't want to, go out and fail at something because they might get discouraged, or they just believe that, they cannot perform that specific activity to a point that they could enjoy it, and therefore they don't believe that it's a possibility. Whatever it is that, you might be telling yourself that prevents you from doing that activity, we're going to try and motivate ourselves to get past that barrier so that we can expand our comfort zone, so that we can get out of that comfort zone, go do those new things, and not be discouraged because of our physical limitations, our disabilities, or our current circumstances. And where am I coming from this? Well, I have recently started to go and do some golf lessons. And for those of you who don't know, I have a reconstructed wrist. I have a fused spine. I have, tension and spasticity issues in my left arm. I got all these issues that previously I would not have even thought about attempting to go and do something like golf. But, 2.5 years ago, I didn't think that it was possible for me to go to the gym. I didn't think it was possible for me to do any type of physical workout that would involve me, holding on to, lifting weight, getting up under a bar that had weight on it. These are all things that my doctors, my counselors, they all told me that was not possible, and I should not look forward to doing those things because due to my current physical limitations, that's not something that would be possible. And I proved those individuals wrong. I proved that I could still perform those activities as long as I did it in a safe way, in an adjusted way to maintain my safety. And I think that no matter what our desired activity might be, that there is a way to approach it in a modified way that allows us to still do the activity. So, I think where you start with anything like that is information. So, my first step, whenever I wanted to go out and, start playing golf, I didn't pick up a golf club, go to the driving range, hit 100 balls, hurt myself, get discouraged, and stop. That's not what I did, right? I got my information, I got on the internet, I found someone at a golf association who was willing to sit down with me, who was willing to do lessons with me. I explained to him where I was coming from, what my goal was, which was just to be able to comfortably play, not to be able to go out there and outdrive everybody at the golf course, not to be able to do all these crazy and amazing things. I had a realistic expectation that I just wanted to be able to play the game without injuring myself. That's what I told him, and he took that information, and he came back to me and he said that my injuries and my disabilities are not unique, that they see people like me coming to them all the time with these types of problems. He already had modified drills and exercises for me to follow, for me to be able to complete a swing, make contact with the ball, and be able to play the game, be able to make it through these lessons without additional pain and without injuring myself. Which just goes to show you that no matter what injury you may have, no matter how severe it may be, that it's probably not as unique of an injury as you might be telling yourself. I told myself multiple times that the combination of my injuries is very unique. Therefore, I can do these things because maybe nobody's ever tried to do it. And that's incorrect. I found out going to see these people, going to talk to my golf coach. He explained to me that people with my injuries come and see them all the time and that we can successfully work through it. And it's not going to take away from my ability to learn how to play the game and to be successful in my goal that I wish to achieve. So that just goes to show you guys, like, I don't want people to forego stepping out of their comfort zone and give up on trying new things simply because they don't think it's possible. And I think, like I said, the way that you start with that is start with information, gather information, and take your time and be patient with it. Start at ground level like I did. I reached out, spoke to a coach, went to do a lesson. Then I went into hitting a couple golf balls, doing these drills, taking my time with it. It's not a race, it's a marathon. And so start there, manage your expectations. Don't tell yourself, oh, well, I'm not going to go to the batting cages because I'm never going to be a professional baseball player. Okay, well, you might not ever be a professional baseball player, but you probably couldn't have been a professional baseball player to begin with. You know what I mean? So manage your expectations, make those small goals like we stated a few videos back. Anytime we set up our goals, we always want to set up a goal that is reasonable, that we can achieve. And, we'll have that end goal far down the line. Like right now, my end goal is to be able to go out and play a round of golf. That's the far goal. That's not where I started. That's not the first step I set for myself. My first step was to go see someone, to work through the drills, and to see if it was even possible to talk to that person, for them to walk me through what this process is going to look like, to understand the work that's going to go into it. And probably a lot of work is going to go into this. That's why you need to be patient. But just to understand that your goal is still possible and it might be far out. And there might be several stages that you have to accomplish to get there. But it just comes down to, how bad do you want it? If there's something out there that you really want to do, that you've always wanted to try to learn, like if you're 35 years old and you've never learned how to sew and you want to learn how to sew, but you have problems with your hands. I got problems with my hands. That doesn't mean that you can't take your time, being patient with it, setting up those small stages through the process, and spend the next 12, 18 months learning how to sew, learning how to do, whatever it's called, learning how to stitch, learning how to do, crochet. Something like that might be something that you would really enjoy, sitting at home instead of doing the same thing every day. A lot of us who are disabled, who stay at home, I feel like it's easy to get stuck into that routine. You wake up, turn on the TV, don't do anything. Why? Because it's safe not to do anything. Why? Because the last time that you did something, maybe that's what resulted in you getting hurt, getting injured, and you feel safe at home. I completely understand that. I've been there. But it's not healthy to protect yourself to the point to where you're not constantly learning something new, where you don't have a drive to do anything else, where you're 30 years old, you're staying at home, you're watching TV, you're not accomplishing anything, and you're just sitting there. You don't want to be that person 10 years down the line. Somebody asks you, what have you done in the past 10 years? Oh, I caught up on Grey's Anatomy. That's what I did. That's not who you want to be. That's not what any one of us wants to become. But it happens because we start to develop these safety guards. We start to be on watch. We start to seclude ourselves, start to pull in our social network tighter and tighter, to the point to where if you don't live with us, we don't socialize with you. We don't talk to you. We don't see you. And that's why these things are so important. That's why it's important for me to go out and start trying to play golf, to go out and get to the golf course, get to the driving ranges, meet new people, make new relationships, create new social networks. It's to get me out of this apartment. It's to help me continue to grow. It's to prevent me from staying stagnant and, allowing me to continue to push myself, to continue to expand, and prevent me from becoming antisocial to the point to where the only person that I talk to is my wife. Don't get me wrong. I love my wife. I love spending time with her. But if in 5 years' time she's the only person that I'm talking to and the only person that I'm socializing with, that's not healthy. So, in a long way to put across a very simple point, your disabilities and your physical limitations should not be preventing you from attempting things that you desire to do. If you want to go out and you want to do something, go out and do it. The information is there. There is a modified way to do it. Your limitation and your circumstances are not unique to the point to where nobody has ever attempted it in a similar situation. And if it is that unique of a disability, then even more reason to go out and try it. Number one, you could be the first person to accomplish that specific goal. And number two, it challenges who you reach out to. If you reach out to a coach or a counselor and they've never seen anything like the situation that you're in, you're just challenging them to be better at their job. So it's a win-win. So guys, just take that for what it is. Take it with a grain of salt, and just remember that these things, going out and attempting these things that we deep inside want to go try to do, is healthy. It allows us to get out of our head, which can be a great thing. It allows us to expand our social network, to create new relationships, and to prevent ourselves from being stuck in that rut, from becoming antisocial, and from cutting off the world. Which doing those things, cutting off the world and becoming antisocial, doing that to protect ourselves, I get why we do it, but that route only leads to bad things. It's getting back out in the world. It's becoming social with new groups of people, and it's establishing these new relationships, and it's pushing those boundaries, going after our desires. That's how we're going to grow. That's how we're going to get better. And that's how we're not going to be just another statistic, which we don't want to be. Well, guys, I hope that this video was informative. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, remember to throw me that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Hit that notification bell so that you do not miss out on content that I will be putting out to you in the future. Before I get off here, guys, like always, even if you don't realize it, even if you don't believe it, there is a warrior in every single one of you, and I see it. Take care.